How did we go from this to this? That's what we're gonna find out in today's video. The full story of cricket, and it is an absolute banger. A good topic and a good hook. If you can get these two things right, then you are off to the races. For example, our video on the history of Among Us got to million views, and that was because we took a simple game with a simple premise and found an angle in how it became such a cultural phenomenon during the global pandemic. Now, if you want to make a great YouTube video, you need two things. That being said, there is one problem with our method. Not every topic has a fun or interesting angle. I mean, just look at this. So we'll just have to settle with the most obvious answer, which is that it evolved naturally from a bunch of British blokes playing a game of bat and ball in the fields. But fret not because we have a solution, we simply make the video interesting. However, towards the end of the century, this changed to 12 balls per side, which was seen as a full innings. At this time, it was decided that instead of having 12 balls per side, both teams should now bat twice in a match, and the team with the most runs at the end would be declared the winner. In 1817, the first ever international match was played between England and Scotland. This was followed by the first ever test match between England and Australia in 1882. This was a 5-day affair at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which ended in an Australian victory. This inspired the English press to declare that the body had been delivered over to the Aussies, a phrase that has since become ingrained in cricketing culture. The first ever women's test match was played in 1948 between England and Australia. Sir Donald Bradman is widely regarded as the greatest batsman to have ever played the game. He holds a unique place in cricketing history with an astounding average of 99.94. Sachin Tendulkar is another name synonymous with greatness. Known as the Little Master, Tendulkar dominated world cricket for over 2 decades. He holds numerous records, including the record for most runs scored in both Test and ODI cricket. Shane Warne is revered as one of the greatest bowlers of all time. His leg spin wizardry bamboozled batsmen worldwide. Murali, another legendary bowler from Sri Lanka, claimed an astonishing 800 Test wickets and 530 for ODI wickets. Sadly, this didn't lead to anything formal, and it was until 1973 that the Women's Cricket Association was formed. The first ever official Women's One-Day International, ODI, was played in 1973 between England and Australia. Do you think we missed anything out? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Finally, in 2022, the International Cricket Council, ICC, granted women's cricket official international status. The introduction of leg before wicket also helped to make the game a lot more exciting and less predictable. Today, it is widely regarded as the most prestigious and important series in world cricket. The first ever professional cricketer was John Wiston, who played for Kent from 1840 to 1858. His fee for playing cricket was just 10 shillings per match. That works out to be about £5 or $6.73. That's pretty low considering he played over 250 first-class matches. The biggest stars of the day earned a few £100 a year, which is the equivalent of about $20,000. These days, the biggest stars earn millions. In 2021, Virat Kohli earned about $25 million from various endorsements. This figure places him among the top earning athletes worldwide. This was still very different from the modern version of cricket, as batsmen could retire at any point in their innings. Towards the end of the 19th century, and throughout the first half of the 20th century, many players from the British Empire immigrated to the USA, Australia, South Africa, and the West Indies to promote the sport. They organized tours, played exhibition matches, and set up local clubs. It's thanks to them that cricket became such a big deal in these countries. Also, the basic aim of the game was simply to prevent the opposing team from scoring runs, rather than trying to score yourself. The Bottle series between England and Australia in 1930 was one of the most controversial in history. The English team employed a tactic known as bottling, in which they bowled short, fast deliveries aimed at the Australian body rather than the wicket. This was designed to intimidate the batsmen and restrict their movement. It worked too well and caused a huge rift between the two nations. This ultimately led to the suspension of the English team from international cricket for 7 years. This all changed in 1740 when a new method of determining a winner was introduced. Each side was required to play to full innings and the team with the highest score overall won. This change really helped to shift the focus of the game from a defensive battle to an offensive one, thus making it much more exciting. As early as 1660, it was recorded that the game had become more formalized. The first known club was formed in Surrey in 1709, which led to the first ever official cricket match between Surrey and Middlesex in 1711. This was a 7-a-side affair where each team only had to bat once. They were given the responsibility of overseeing the rules of cricket and ensuring its proper development. In 1787, the MCC codified the laws of cricket and drew up the first ever official set of rules. The original laws of cricket contained just 7 rules and governed every aspect of the game, from the dimensions of the pitch to the methods of scoring runs. It's amazing how much has changed since then. There are theories suggesting that cricket may have been brought over to England from France, although no one is really sure why the French would bring a game to England just to take it away again. There's also the theory that cricket evolved from a game called stoolball, which was played in the English village of Stoke White in the 16th century. Then there's also the possibility that it was brought to England by the Romans, which might explain why the boundaries were called ropes, as in the boundary ropes that you see in cricket today. But honestly, this last one is a bit of a stretch, no pun intended. This was written in 1598 and contains the first ever known written mention of cricket. The poem talks about how cricket was played in the fields of Essex and Kent, where 2 teams of 11 players each would take part in the sport, which they called cricket. In the poem, Allard describes the game as having boundaries, fielders and wicket, and a batsman who wears pads and tries to score runs by hitting a ball with a bat. Basically everything we know and love about cricket today. Okay, maybe that's a bit easier said than done, but hey, it's not like we're making a video on the history of cricket now, right? Haha, just kidding, we are in fact doing exactly that. So let's dive into the crazy history of cricket. The exact origins of cricket are actually quite murky, with the earliest written reference to the game appearing in an English poem called The Cricket by English poet John R. Lott. Despite this, cricket may have been around long before this poem was written. In any case, we really don't know where cricket came from. From here, cricket slowly started to evolve. In the 17th and 18th centuries, some ground rules were put into place. At the start of the 18th century, most matches consisted of 24 balls bowled per side, which was then considered a full innings. By the end of the 18th century, many changes had been made to the laws of cricket, and it was starting to resemble something a little more similar to modern-day cricket. In 1765, the Marylebone Cricket Club, otherwise known as MCC, was formed. Throughout the 19th century, cricket continued to grow in popularity. In response, the Australians began to call the Ashes Test matches the Ashes series. As the sport grew, so did the amount of money involved. It wasn't just money that was flowing in either. This period also saw the birth of some of the greatest rivalries in cricketing history. Post-World War II, cricket began to feature more women. The late 20th and early 21st centuries saw some truly legendary players grace the game. These legends, along with many others, have contributed to making cricket the global phenomenon that it is today. So there we have it, the full story of cricket.